Hello, everybody.
So,
So, we haven't shot in your room for a movie review in a while.
yeah, somebody dropped the ball when going to see a movie, so we saw this at a different time.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my alarm did not go off. Like, I woke up as the movie was starting.
And yet somehow somebody seems to make all of yours work. Just saying.
I'm sorry, Sean. I apologize. Anyway,
Could have had this out sooner. You have to apologize to yourself.
well, I mean, we went to see Ghost in the Shell, guys. And, I don't know about you, Sean. I thought this movie was a turd.
Yeah, it's not good. About the only... I don't want to say the only good thing about this movie were the actors, because there are a few good things. The geisha doll being an actual practical effect they had on set, that worked really well. It probably would have been a lot better visually if it hadn't been in all the marketing trailers for it.
Yeah, I thought,
But
visually the movie was good. Like, you can definitely tell they had a budget, and there was some things.
that I have to really say is very hit or miss. There are parts of the movie that look really good aesthetically, and there are parts of the movie where it's basically just sitting there going, "Do you get that it's the future?"
Ow.
Sorry, but I felt that had to be stressed in a physical format. Yeah, there's holograms everywhere because future.
Yeah,
There's
I just didn't like it, man.
it's
I don't
way
know.
too in your face about how futuristic it is, and I'm gonna address this right now. No one in the comments had better be pointing out, well, you can't judge it by the original because shut up. When the only actual action set pieces that happen in this movie are lifted and recreated from the first two movies, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to talk about this on its own merit without saying, yeah, this is just copy and paste the original?
Well, I went into this never having.
Well, that's why I'm going to let you. I would like to hear
Ghost in the Shell.
your talk about this a little more, because I am a huge fan of Ghost in the Shell. The first movie a little more than the second, but I like the second still.
Ghost in the Shell was something that never really caught my attention, I guess. It just wasn't my cup of tea to begin with. And this one, it's just... The actors I will give are good. The story just seems bland. It's not really enough to carry me through a movie.
I did some research on this, and I think I
care
might know
about
why.
this.
I think I might know why.
Okay.
Yes. Now then, you have 3 screenwriters on this.
Okay.
2 of them have... Nope, that's not him. That's the idiot who's probably responsible for it being bland. 2 of them have less than 10 credits. One of them has 4, Ghost in the Shell being the biggest one on his writing credit. The other... These are for the screenplay, by the way, because I can't find a story writer. The other one has 9.
That's not many movies.
No, and yeah, the biggest he's done is mostly TV movies, or TV episodes, I should say.
This did feel like
Ghost in the
more
Shell.
of something I would have watched on TV that could have been cut. Like, an hour of this movie could have been cut.
Well, the third one, he's got 20 writing credits to his name. But I want you to look on here. Scroll through a little bit.
Oh man, he worked on the Transformers movie. Oh,
Boom!
God. Brothers Grimm, Okay, I'm done.
And that is where I think a lot of the problems come from, because they paired a bunch of, I hate to say this, but noobs with a guy who clearly churns out whatever the studio wants him to churn out for a profit. And they paired all of that with the guy who directed Snow White and the Huntsman as his biggest directing credit.
I didn't mind Snow White and the Huntsman, but that movie
visually it was fine, but there was absolutely no story. Oh, look at that! But
Honestly.
yeah, and you for something like that, you would really have to rely on your actors to carry it through, and you're not given enough time to realize who these people are in the world. Major is no longer the Major.
Yeah.
She's apparently Major is a product that this company, and for whatever reason, they had to throw in the whole mega corporations are evil.
Did you notice the Honda product placement everywhere?
You mean whenever she got on that super sweet bike and drove through the traffic, all dodging and moving and weaving,
Like
and how
3
Honda was
times?
just
Yeah.
nice, subtly displayed in almost the entire bottom screen?
Yeah.
Never once crossed my mind, bro.
I just...
The product placement actually was fairly decent in this. I didn't mind the Honda logo being there because I've seen actual Honda bikes, and I thought that was a really cool design. And if that was actually a concept that Honda provided, I'm okay with that being in there.
Yeah.
I feel that they went really, really overboard futuristically, since we're doing visual aesthetics with this, with the city and how it's just big buildings and holograms.
Yeah, because from what I remember of Ghost in the Shell, it was like that, but not over the top. Like
Right.
that.
It was one of the things that really helped launch cyberpunk as an aesthetic visually. You had books like Neuromancer or another one that there's another one out there that I can't stand, and I can't remember it for the life of me. But somebody help me out in the comments. The main guy is called Hero Protagonist. I swear to God, that's his name, dude. And I hated that book. The characters were bland and uninteresting. I was just like, no, the story's not here. But yeah, it helped establish an actual visual aesthetic as well as a narrative semblance with what was going on in those kinds of stories. And it combined the idea of the 1% mingled with the bottom percent in one glorious mirror and chrome encrusted superstructures dotting the high rise, but then the further down you got, everything was old and decayed. You had the slums, you had the ghettos.
Sounds like Judge Dredd. Or Dredd, like...
Yeah, think Dredd. Dredd's a really good representation of what a live-action megacity from Ghost in the Shell should have looked like. And you never get that, really. You get it in, like, one or two little spots, but again, from the original, it's peppered all throughout. And you're given moments to breathe and take in the atmosphere of what you're seeing.
Yeah.
And with this movie, you're never allowed that.
This movie just... I don't know. It was all kind of just... I didn't care. Like,
Right.
there was nothing there to drive me through.
Well, that's where
The
it
characters,
comes from your
like-
writing. And
They tried with Major, but they kind of lost me at the... Oh, she's this Japanese...
no. Let's hold that off for later. Let's hold that off for later because that might be the most tone-deaf move I have ever seen in a show. Now, let's talk about some of the other people. Let's talk about Chin Han, who played Han. Or Lazarus something, or the guy who played Saito, or Cutter. I don't even remember what these people were supposed to look like. And
The only guy I didn't mind, like, character-wise, that I kind of liked just because I thought he was a badass, was the police chief.
Chief Aramaki?
Yes.
Well, he's a badass no matter what, and that is because he is played by the legendary Takeshi Kitano. And I'm sorry, but I had to look at how that was said, so I didn't mispronounce his name. And yeah, this dude is awesome. He's a legend in Japanese movies and TV shows.
He was definitely the best part about this movie.
Well, it's because he's a good actor. He can carry a scene. There's a Jet Li movie where he's like a cage fighter.
Okay.
And I want to say he's in that. If I'm not mistaken, if it's the one I'm thinking of.
That's the Legend?
No, it was a Western one. It had Bob Hoskins in it, too.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a great movie, but he was great in it. If you've ever watched MXC,
Yeah.
It's based off of Takeshi's Castle, which he's one of the hosts of. So he's one of those guys. And yeah, he's amazing. He's a great guy. I hear he's a little difficult to work with, but he's professional. So I don't mind him. But everybody else...
his scenes, I was actually like, okay, that guy's back on screen. Okay, I'm going to watch this.
Right. Well, again, he's a professional. And it really showed against the people who, I hate to say this, but really needed more direction than I think they were given for this. Because a lot of this feels like it was, if it wasn't shot on a soundstage in green screen, it really feels that way because nobody really knows how to look in a certain area. Plus, I don't think you can twist and bend holograms like that when you're investigating them. But yeah, this movie looked okay-ish, not great.
Also the main villain, it just... By the end, I was just kind of like...
Here's the problem. They tried to... Here's the problem with this. They tried to combine two Ghost in the Shell stories. They tried to combine the first movie and the second movie, Ghost in the Shell Innocence. Now, the first movie is about a rogue artificial intelligence known as the Puppet Master that hacked into people via various transmissions around the city. It actually was smart about it and used payphones and stuff, so it wasn't traceable as well.
Yeah.
And it could do it in quick bursts. It's not like you're just sitting there and it's like, doodling on my phone, going to Twitter, I am an assassin now.
Yeah, I was like, where did die?
I
was like, they, got brainwashed and then immediately went after the doctor. Where'd they get the guns from?
It's never explained. There's too much in this movie.
There's so much that I just
There's too much in this movie where you're either left with no explanation, either as a fan or as a newcomer. Or as a newcomer, you're left with little to no explanation because you had to be a fan for it. The scene where the coroner pops open her eyes and inserts the little thing there, that's lifted straight from Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence. But it tries to combine that storyline with Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence, and that one involved a group of people, and for this I have to kind of explain how they make a positronic brain in this world, God help me. Essentially what they do is they scan somebody's brain and they use their brainwave patterns to emulate onto a false brain. That's called your ghost. Yeah. That is then put into a shell, the robot body. Hence the name Ghost in the Shell. From there, average person goes about their day, which is where you get the sort of portion that this movie tried to be original about with Major's backstory. I hate that I have to call her that instead of the Major. Mm-hmm. But you get some of her backstory, or they try to tell it, and they try to tell it in the most ham-fisted and stupid way, when it wasn't actually about her trying to remember who she was before she became the Major, much rather who she felt she could be, but wasn't because of what she was. In the original movie, she knew straight off the bat that she was just a machine put in with somebody's brainwaves patterned onto her. She didn't really know who the other person was or what they were doing. She understood what she was supposed to be doing. She liked what she was doing. Bateau was also the same way. I always thought Bateau was kind of an older model, or he had some damage or whatever due to the implants around his eyes.
Yeah.
Which, that was something I really didn't need to see, which thanks for giving us the creepiest fucking image from that movie. Yeah, the geisha girl's face exploding and revealing the thing underneath? No, nothing compared to Bateau's sunken ocular pieces.
Oh, man.
Jesus Christ, you couldn't even make like little doodads that go around the outside to where it just kind of covers and sweeps back so it looks not like you put two hunks of metal in somebody's recessed eyes, and it's just like, just God! Get that off the screen. But what they do in Innocence is there's a group of people abducting children off the street, orphans. And what they're doing is they're scanning their brains into these geisha gynoids and selling them as sex robots. Because they're not technically children, certain things can be indulged in like this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a very, very dark road, and it doesn't shy away from going dark. It's one of the reasons that I respect Ghost in the Shell so much.
Yeah, this movie definitely did want to go dark. Also, camera angles in this kind of just annoyed me. Like, okay,
Yeah.
why would we start a scene where we're staring at the back of a truck? Like, everybody's just staring at the back of the truck, but we actually need to go out, and all of us turn around and go out the door. That makes no sense. No one, like, if we were in a truck, we would be sitting sideways like this and trying not to knock anything over.
Right.
And then we would go, we're not going to look at the back and then flip around. And
But
go
there might
out
be
the
a camera
door.
back there. We might have to be in a movie. There you
Yeah.
go. Sweetheart. There you are, sweetheart. Now then. Yeah, and they tried to combine those two stories together, and it really doesn't pay off because those two stories are completely separate and they don't need to be mashed together.
No, and let's just talk about Major's backstory and
How somebody in the writing department, one of these three writers, really should have taken a look at everything, the controversy that was swirling around this movie, and thought, maybe we should do a rewrite.
yeah, because all of a sudden it's, oh yeah, I'm just some Japanese girl that was
That was abducted.
and thrown in this body because I was a radical against the government. It's like,
Yeah, it takes this weird anti-technology spiel right out of left field, does nothing with it.
I immediately just kind of, I was like,
I know. I was sitting in the theater, and it just if there was just me in the theater, I would have been sitting there just going, "Oh, eat my cock." But there were people next to me, and I was like, "No, they probably don't want to hear me scream that." It's Scarlett Johansson, but not that I'm saying I wouldn't have her do that. But anyway,
it just,
yeah, and it turns out they literally took an Asian person and put them in a white person's body, and just I was just sitting there. I'm like. Did none of you consider the idea of a rewrite of some kind? Just practically anything after hearing nothing but people saying, "Oh, they're whitewashing, they're just making Asian people white people in this." And it's like,
they literally made an
and they
Asian
literally
person.
did this! And it's like, well, congratulations, idiot. Not only have you made an awful movie, but you fanned the flames of social justice warriors on the internet, and now we're never going to hear the goddamn end of it.
This movie, I'm so glad
Oh,
this movie
God.
tanked, so I don't have.
I hate saying that, but honestly, I am. If they had,
I
don't know why this movie was made.
I'm going to work and I'm punching somebody in the face tonight because the other day he's like, "Oh yeah, dude, I saw Ghost in the Shell for work, man. It was badass."
Yeah, punch him in the face.
Dude, I'm just gonna be like, your brain does not work well, sir. This movie was
Just
dog
turn to Mr.
crap.
Blanket for a minute. Did
Well-
you forget to take brain medication? Have some of mine. I can't do a good Blanket.
It just, this movie was not. I would have rather snuck into Boss Baby than watch this.
I heard Boss Baby was actually kind of fun.
Yeah. Well,
So,
it's a
I-
Baldwin. Come on now.
I think we actually got our movies wrong on this one.
Yeah. Boss Baby coming soon.
Maybe. I don't know, but yeah, this movie. I don't
Cookies
know
are
why
for
it was.
closes.
I don't know why it was made because it's not gonna be good for people who haven't seen Ghost in the Shell. They're gonna
No.
think, "Wow, this is really, really generic and stupid. Why would I want to watch the original?"
I'm like very, like I said, Ghost of the Shell was never my thing. Now I'm just kind of like, I want to watch the original to see how much better it is, but
It's on Hulu.
still, it's like, this movie left a bad taste in my mouth.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. People who are fans of the movie are going to be looking at this going, "This is like the crappiest version I've had of this," and I sat through Standalone Complex. Standalone Complex isn't that bad, but it's not that great. And I'm not gonna try and pretend that the first one is like the be all end all of anime cyberpunk movies. I mean, it's got a lot of flaws, both technical and story writing. And for a lot of people, I do understand why not everybody would like it. It does go some really deep psychological and philosophical roots with it. And that will drag out and be a lot of burden for some people to watch. It's not as bad as Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh, I couldn't sit through that either.
I hate Evangelion so much.
Let me explain though. Like, I was very, very young when Ghost in the Shell like was a bigger thing. Like I was maybe 13, I think, when the original, like when I remember seeing stuff for the original.
Right.
So like I was just at that time, my anime choices were Yu-Gi-Oh and Dragon Ball Z. So
you probably heard about it around its 10th anniversary or so.
probably I was
Well, it was made in '95, and
yeah, I was like
it was released in '95.
7 when that came out.
Right, so you probably heard about it around
I heard it
2005 or so.
No, like not probably. I'd say probably 01, 02.
So
like,
leading up to its 10th anniversary.
They played.
It's over 20 years old now, and it's celebrated for a damn good reason.
They play reruns and stuff. They played reruns on like Toonami or something like that, or
Maybe a standalone complex, because that's the TV show. But no, the movie is rife with blood, swearing, and bearbs.
like this was before I had cable.
But yeah, I don't want to talk bad about Scarlett Johansson because she's a talented actor. I like what she does.
I liked Lucy, but I just didn't.
Really?
It was better than this. It was like Limitless.
Morgan Freeman sitting there going, "We use 10% of our brain." Guys, are you sure about that? I'm pretty sure I saw that debunked. I'm fairly certain I did a show about that. We're running. Okay. Just make sure you spell my name right on the paycheck. I'm not coming back here for take 2. You're gonna have to cut this.
Oh yeah, dude. Morgan Freeman got a paycheck for that advertisement in front of Ghost in the Shell for Cinemark. That was some product play. It was like Morgan Freeman, Michael Brown. I don't remember who else, or not Michael Brown, Michael Caine.
About to say there.
No, I remember him from
Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, and Alan Alda. They're in a new movie that's coming out. I really want to see it. Actually,
I was thinking Henry Brown, like the movie Michael Caine did.
Right.
Yeah.
Which that's a badass movie.
Yeah, it is. But
British Dirty Harry there.
I just like in general. I'm just gonna wrap this up because we've kind of just babbled about it. I didn't.
Well, there's not much to say about this movie other than it's not that great. It doesn't
have not cared for a movie so little since Max Steel.
I
enjoyed Chips more than this.
Okay, I definitely wouldn't go that far. And that's mostly because I can draw from the original and I can say, well, it's bad, but Ghost in the Shell 95 is still there.
Yeah, well, for somebody like me, like I'd have to go watch Ghost in the Shell 95 because this movie was bad.
It's not good.
If not Chips, Max Steel bad.
I would work with Max Steel. Chips was insufferable. I literally wanted to punch you by the time it was done.
But this was like Max Steel bad. Like I just didn't care.
Well, see, I went into this pretty much expecting it to be like, I'm probably not going to enjoy this. I'm going to keep my mind open. You never know.
See, the way you felt about Max Steel, because I can draw on the original, like the show Max Steel, because I actually somewhat enjoyed it.
Oh, let's just upgrade this to a more recent version with Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Except I didn't like this one.
Yeah, like it was, we had the originals to go on, but for somebody who had never seen the show before, you had never seen Max Steel, so you hated it much more.
I knew of him as a toy line, and that was a really crappy way to sell toys.
Yeah, like, see, this is what, like, now you know what I think about
Ghost I understood exactly what you felt like. I've been through this before.
Yeah. But...
Yeah, long story short, this movie sucks.
Yeah, it's not good.
There's no two ways about it. I honestly wish I could say good things about this because if you had told me just straight out, come out and said, hey, one of the greatest anime movies of all time is going to be remade with some of the best cast. We've got Scarlett Johansson to be the Major. We've got Takeshi Kitano to be Chief Aramaki. I would have been like,
I'm on board.
Sold.
I'm on board. Let's go.
You make this thing, you make it good. And then they didn't make it good.
Yep. It was blah.
Yeah.
All right.
And that was what they turned out. They got a whole bunch of blah people, and they turned out a blah movie.
This just goes to also reassure the fact that I've known for a long time, and I'm sure many people, white people do not need to touch anime and adapt it. It's never been done well. Dragon Ball was shit. The Death Note
Well,
Netflix
again-
thing, I don't think is going to be
Again,
that
I
great.
think this boils down to the fact that this is just a bad writing. I have a flowchart for this. If you want to bitch about white people taking on roles traditionally meant for other people,
No, it's not that. It's
Or
just,
just
we shouldn't
adapting.
handle anime.
whatever. Here's how you do this. Step 1. Are you a member of the group that created or is being done by white people? If the
No.
answer is no, go to step 2. Do you know someone directly who is part of group 1?
No.
Step 3. Shut the fuck up. If you answered yes to either of those questions, go to step 1.5. Go ahead and complain because you have a reason. If you meet none of those criteria, shut the fuck up. No one cares. While we're on the subject of no one cares, can we be done with female women in movies saying, "Oh, this will be great to see women who can be strong in movies," and it's like, we've known this.
Scarlett
This is-
Johansson can carry a movie.
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen her
no,
do
she
it.
is great. I love her as an actress. I think she's fine. She is a great Black Widow.
Oh yeah, she's.
Just about it. She has been in more good movies that I like than movies that I don't. But yeah, can we be done with this?
yeah, I would.
I've known women can kick ass since 1995 when Ghost in the Shell came out.
Xena.
Before that, in 1986, when Samus Aran was revealed to be a dude. Not a dude, sorry. Freudian slip there.
Xena, dude. That was my I've known women can kick ass in
Hell,
Xena.
before Metroid, Alien with
Yo,
Ripley.
yeah. Jesus
Sigourney
Christ.
Weaver, I figured out what a boner was that day because I'm sitting there watching her. I'm like, what is this feeling? I feel as though I'm a man now. I know them.
See, we don't need movies where people are trying to shove that back to my face. I know women can kick ass.
Just be
just-
good.
Exactly.
That's all we need. Just don't try and be preachy. Be good. That's all we want. Women can, of course, do everything a man can do, except jizz. Women can't do that. Well, that's a gray area, but there's lots of different
Can we stop
biological
now?
things.
Stop.
No, we're continuing this.
Shut up,
What are some things men can do that women can't? I'm not coming up with anything. Nothing concrete.
I quite literally can't think of anything.
No, because they can have penises and we can have boobs now, so I got nothing. I literally have nothing. They can gestate life.
There you go.
That's a leg up on us. I mean, we can provide the base level stuff, but they're the ones who actually recombobulate them into people. So, good on you, chicks and women.
You're such.
I'm helping! I'm saying they help create the human race. We're nothing without them. We're a bunch of selfish assholes.
Yep.
That's all guys are. We're just a bunch of selfish assholes.
Yep. All right, and that's gonna do it for us, guys.
There's our main lesson. Be less Ghostbusters 2016 with your preachiness on how you're empowered. Be more Alien and Ellen Ripley.
Yes.
Just be badass.
Yes.
Hopefully that's how the new Wonder Woman comes out. Although I've
hoping.
not heard good things.
Well, guys, until next time, we will see you guys later.